SP Convo, SP Convo. Let's do it. Here we go. All my videos is fair use. Fair use, fair use. Here we go, people. We back on it. We back on it like we never left. Mm-mm-mm. 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 Let's get right into it. Jump right into it. No half faking. Just do it.
Black, my daddy black. I did not come from any place other than here. I don't go to Jamaica and speak on what's happening in the grill. I do not go to Ghana and speak what's happening in Ghana. I do not go to Nigeria and talk about what's happening in Lagos because it's none of my business. It is not my place. When you come over here from the Caribbean, from Africa, from South America, whichever type of black that you are, you get an immigrant experience. You do not have 400 years of chattel slavery hanging over your head. You do not know anything about Jim Crow, and you do not understand what is happening to us.
You know what he said? Have a different experience. I think that's what it's about. The different experiences. I really believe that.
Correctly. You catch a little bit of an incident here and there because you look like us. So I'm gonna need everybody who's not a foundational Black American to stay the hell out of my conversation, understand it's not your place, and realize that we have things to do. Let me make
Said it. Additional Black Americans have things to do. So you want people to mind their business when they come here. I don't know. He said his mama black and his daddy black. That's what makes it FBA. Is that true? My mother's black. My father's black. Honestly, I think he's right. I think he's all the way right. Know why? Because my mother is black, born in America. My grandmother, rest her soul, was black, born in America. But her mother was black, born in Frederiksted, Virgin Islands of St. Croix, and she died in 1969. And she migrated into America, I think 30s or 40s. So, did I grow up thinking that FBA? Well, let me be honest. All my father and mother told me was that I'm black, and that's it. You need to be careful when you're in America because America have a thing towards black people, and keep your hair cut low because when your hair grow out, that makes you look like an animal, that makes you look like a criminal, that makes you look like you don't have nothing, and that white people for that as a way to say you're not being taken care of, so they can remove you. Because if you don't look the part, you don't look the part, they remove you from the part. So now it's just FBA thing, Foundational Black Americans, which is the same thing as the African Americans. That's what it was back in the days. You're African American. Now it's called Foundational Black. But I'm gonna share this with y'all. Honest. I was told that I'm Black American when I was little. I was told anybody that come from the Caribbean that moved to America, they automatically Black American. Honestly, I was told that. So for all these years, I was under the scope of me being called a Black American. But I'm gonna throw this out there too. When I was in school, hanging out with the other black kids, some black kids said I was an American. Some of the Caribbean kids said I was American. Some of the American kids said, no, I'm not American. That's the honest truth. And sometimes I question that because the way I talked was American, but the way I thought wasn't American. Hear me out. I'm a dark skinned guy and I had naturally soft hair. I never had naps in my hair. The comb go right through my hair automatically, right through my hair. The other American kids had rough hair. I had a friend, and this is back in the days. I had to get my hair cut. My hair was smooth, right through. Barbershop, take the clippers right through. He ain't put no pressure on it, right through. My friend here was more kinky and coarse. My friend was mixed Caribbean and American. His mother was American, his father from Jamaica. She used to always say, Slim, SP, your hair is soft. She used to tell her son, Child, I told you to put some TCB in your hair. You better put some TCB in your hair. That was the spray, the chemicals back in the days to make your hair easy. I didn't have to have no chemicals. Honestly, hot water, shampoo, a little Vaseline, brush my hair, comb my hair, bam. I'm just saying, maybe all this time, people already knew that I was Caribbean descent. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a kid. When I started hanging out with my American friends, they fried chicken tasted different than my grandma fried chicken. My grandma fried chicken had some different seasonings in it. And all American people knocked on my grandma's door and they wanted my grandmother chicken. I should have knew then. My grandma had a light accent when she got aggressive. My grandma's features was different. Now that I'm old, I'm going back and I'm thinking about all this. It don't mean my grandmother was better than Americans because she's American. She's born in America. All this information I'm getting right now. So my great grandmother was born in the Caribbean. My grandma, my mom was born in America. I'm born in America. So, am I FBA? My daddy's side of the family, we wasn't shared much information. They just told us to stay quiet and do what we have to do, and it don't matter where you come from. You're black in this country, and that's it. Just being honest. So, what's an FBA? This guy says mother black, his father black. My mother's black, my father's black. But maybe that means this. I think FBA means this. What is a foundational black American? A foundational black American, FBA, term is a term used to describe black Americans whose ancestry traces back to people enslaved in the United States, particularly those whose family histories are rooted in the transatlantic slave trade, chattel slavery, and the aftermath of emancipation. The designation emphasizes lineage based identity rather than just race, aiming to highlight the specific historical experiences of descendants of enslaved Africans in the U.S. Let that sink in. All right. Historical and cultural roots. The concept is tied to the centuries long experience of black Americans whose ancestors were enslaved from the early 17th century onward. This group includes descendants of enslaved Africans brought to the U.S. via the transatlantic slave trade, freedmen emancipated during the Reconstruction, and free black Americans present during the nation's founding and early development. Their history is shaped by slavery and bondage under white supremacy, Reconstruction and its aftermath, Jim Crow segregation and systemic discrimination, cultural contributions to American music, language, religion, and social institutions. Some FBA prominents also cite a 1526 Spanish settlement in what is now South Carolina and Georgia, where enslaved Africans allegedly rebelled, integrated with Native Americans, and formed early maroon communities. This narrative is part of a broader ideological emphasis on resilience, resistance, and foundational contributions to the U.S. Let that sink in. Identity and usage. The term is used in identity discussions to distinguish U.S. born enslaved lineage descendants from more recent African or Caribbean immigrants. Cultural pride movements, such as the FBA flag, which symbolizes maroon communities and resistance. Hmm, I heard that word maroon before. Policy debates, especially around respirations, representation, and resource allocations. Now, debate and criticism. Supporters argue the term recognizes a unique historical lineage, encourages accurate and respectful discussions of Black American identity, and it highlights the role of enslaved ancestors in building the nation. Critics warn it may create divisions within the broader Black community, oversimplify complex migration and identity histories. So, in short, it's saying a foundational Black American is a lineage based identity for Black Americans whose ancestry is tied to enslaved Africans in the U.S., emphasizing shared historical experiences, cultural heritage, and a legacy of resistance and resilience. And I'm going to say, somewhat, yes. Yes. Uh, I've been around a lot of black people, a lot of black people, and only black people, honestly, that really, 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 really handle their business, and they're not afraid of white people, and they have a debate with white people, and they argue with white people, and sometimes they get real, real conflicty when they have to fight. Is black Americans. Black Americans not afraid to fight. The only other group I see that fights is Jamaicans, but I see more Black Americans than Jamaicans. But next up is Jamaicans. The reason why I said that because I heard the word maroon from Jamaicans. Jamaicans use the word maroon. They said the Maroons fought off the British or fought off the European empires so they could have their country in Jamaica. So if Americans have maroon and the Jamaicans have maroon, I think there should be some similarities between Americans and Jamaicans, especially the ports of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia that lead straight to Jamaica. If we take a boat straight out, I believe, yeah, there's some connection there. But anyway, the Black Americans, the FBAs. So there's another take on what's a Black American. Let me cue this up. Every time I click on this. All right. Fair use. This for educational purposes. Fair use. All right.
It needs to be said that foundational Black Americans are not the foundational Black authority, as he said, um, is not an organization. It's a lineage. Either you're part of it or you're not by lineage. Okay, how your ancestry, where your ancestry takes you. So, there's about 48 million people that would be considered foundational Black Americans, and he's disrespecting all of them. There is no leader to foundational Black Americans. Tariq Nasheed
Oh,
is not the leader of foundational Black Americans. It has no leader. Again, it's a lineage. There is no organization called Foundational Black Americans.
so there's no organization called Foundation of Black Americans, right? Hmm. That's what had me baffled. Why would somebody um, Why would somebody say that Foundational Black Americans is an organization? Why would somebody say that? I thought about that. Why would somebody call Foundational Black Americans an organization? That's like claiming every other ethnic group that claim who they are. That's an organization. It's like saying where my grandmother come from. The St. Croix organization. No, the Crucian organization because they identify with the country they born on. The country that they born on, that's where they claim it to be. That's who they are, right? So then, if Black Americans are in the country where other blacks could easily copy them, including myself, I can easily blend in as a Black American because I'm born in America. I speak English. I've been around for a while, and that's just what it is. Nobody gonna look at me as any different, right? Like I said, my dad's side of the family, his father, we wasn't told where he come from. But my dad's side of the family, my grandmama come from Concord, North Carolina. And she was Tallfoot, and she was Cherokee. Real light skin. She had a circle in the middle of her head. Not like India, but she had a different type of circle in the middle of her head. You understand? And she's very powerful. You understand? She could get that dream book, read that dream book, and then whatever you need done, sit back and it will come to you. That's my grandma, you know, born in America, Concord, North Carolina. Concord, North Carolina. God bless her soul. She passed away in 1999. So my father's side of the family, my dad, my grandpa, I don't know where he come from. It happens. My mama's side of the family, as I said, from the St. Croix. So that's my thing. That's where I'm at with it. So, um, I don't think FBA is a gang. I don't think FBA is a crew. I don't think FBA it's a organization. It's just Black Americans that been in this country. They set the foundation of it. They know their country in and out. They don't want no other blacks copying them. They don't want no other blacks taken from them. They want every other black to come to America and break their back and get it their own way. If they bump their head, if they fail, so be it. If they get harmed along the way, so be it. Because Black Americans went through everything, and human nature dictates if I went through it, who are you not to go through it? Let alone have an opinion about my people going through it, acting like you better than my people. Because I do hear that. I do hear a lot of foreign people come to America and act like they better. My grandmother never told me to act like I'm better than American blacks. She told me to go to school, keep my head down, do what I have to do, and don't get involved to the left or to the right of you what's going on. So my grandmother raised me to always respect American blacks because she said this is their country. And I find that so peculiar because she was born in America. But she said, America, this is their country. She spoke as if she's an outsider to America. Wow. And she raised me to respect black Americans. And she didn't want me to look at black Americans like everybody else look at black Americans with a small mind, to act like only black Americans drink, only black Americans don't go to school. Because she took me away, I seen all around the world people of color, for the most part, they don't got nothing. Black people around the world don't got nothing. And I'm telling the truth. So it's all about an attitude. Foreign people come to America and act like they something because America not really checking for who are they back home. All America cares when you come here, you be good, act good, do what you're supposed to do, and you have what you want. The American blacks is born here, they only get one strike. And that one strike, everything's on record. And any country they try to go to, American record gonna follow, and everybody around the world gonna respect whatever America say. Other countries, They could get it expunged. They could get it hidden. It's a little more corrupted, and America don't care. America give a person a clean slate. That's the only advantage being black outside of America you have. As coming to America, you could be fake, phony, and do what you want to do, and make a whole new you, knowing in real life where you come from, you ain't worth shit. Now let's get into this. Fair use, fair use. My videos is fair use, educational purposes.
Get right to it, man. We got Republican, the delineation, not come back to y'all. Let's go.
And they called you a racist for that?
They did, which is actually quite interesting because I got a call from the Foundational Black Americans Society here in Florida who reminded me that Byron's mother is Jamaican, he is Panamanian, and they found it quite insulting in their words that he would try to claim victimhood of slavery without a single descendant of American slaves in his family.
I like those foundational guys.
They're so good.
Tariq Nasheed and all. I mean, I don't agree with everything, but like they've got a perspective. If your family's been here 400 years and the descendants of a lot of American slaves or families have been here 400 years, I don't know. I think that gives, I'll listen to you. Like you've
100%.
got, you've got a point of view that is legitimate, I think.
Yeah. And they're unequivocally heritage Americans.
That's for sure.
100%.
I mean, they're definitely heritage Americans, if anyone is. And, someone rolls in from Ghana and gets an MSNBC slot and starts speaking on behalf of black people. It's like, shut up, honey. You've got nothing to do with this.
Right.
That's
Literally.
a fair perspective,
right.
I think.
And so
Let's to be honest. I don't know why people don't want to come to America and learn the history. Like Tucker Carlson said, 400 years. This is dumb people country. Somebody to come from Ghana, which is I think there was Joy to come to from Ghana to America and have so much to say, get a slot on NBC. That's not her spot. That's not her spot. Because if them people had to come to America and go through everything the black Americans had to go through, them people would have been crying. And I'm going to say it too. Because America is a country, 50 states, but the land mass is different in any country. America got tornadoes. America got swamps. America got desert. America got mountains. America got peaks. America got valleys. America got pasture, farms. America got uh uh, uh, name it, man. Different weather systems, different elevation patterns, man. It's hard for you to survive in America without help. So for the most part, most immigrants got help by white America. Cause you got white America still that don't want to see black Americans have it all. They rather see other blacks have it, and that's the truth. And then you got the white Americans that's pushing back on it now in 2026, saying, "Nah, man, it's that white and black people country. This is their shit. This is white or black American country. Leave them people alone." And that's why I say I'm glad my grandmother raised me that way because my grandmother knew something way back then. She passed on now 3 years ago, but she knew way back then to set me up for life in this country. So don't get caught up in the nonsense of this country. You have to respect the country you move to and don't ever disrespect the people that live there because it's not your land. And the people that live there is going to be better off than you because they got everything that they earned. They didn't get it handed to them, they earned it. My grandmother was a smart woman and a fair woman. She said, and back home, whatever people have back home, that's just all they could have because of the landmass or the materials or maybe the structure of the country can't hold certain big buildings. But America could hold all that. And they blessed to have their own diamonds, they own this, they own everything. And everybody is envious of Americans for that reason. And yes, I'm gonna say it because my grandmother put that in my head before she passed. She said everybody's envious of Americans. And everybody is small minded at the same time because once they come to America, if you don't have an accent, they're automatically gonna be small minded and believe that you are American, not believing that your parents or somebody came before you to get here. So that's my take. So I'm gonna say because my grandmother on my daddy's side is born and raised in America, Concord, North Carolina, Cherokee Tar. I think she was Tar Heel, Tarfoot or Tar Heel. She's Indian, that tribe. And then my grandmother on my mama's side come from the islands. I'm gonna say I'm black, Black Island and Black American. So if that's not FBA, I thank you FBA for letting me be in America and understanding and having a good life. SP Convo, SP Convo.